Welcome everybody to both sides of the conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Tuesday. So you know what that means, community. We are back for another segment of our Hidden Gems. Y'all know every Tuesday we are here at 7 o'clock as we continue on this Hidden Gem segment to intentionally highlight, uplift Black and brown businesses, community leaders, folks that are doing positive things to impact our community. Tonight, we have a couple of phenomenal gems that are here tonight. One is returning, and this brother's a phenomenal brother, and I'm just excited. I know y'all haven't seen me in a couple of days. Community folks are reaching out. Bishop, where you at? I'm around. I'm doing a lot. It's a lot going on, but I'm here for the people. I'm excited because we're kicking off this great spring weather. We're getting ready for all these great summer and spring events across the Bay Area and the city of San Francisco. So I'm excited because there's stuff happening, folks getting out, enjoying the good weather. I know everybody's sneezing and blowing their nose and eyes are burning because the allergies, the wind is killing us all, but we'll make it through all of this. But I'm excited to be back here today. I know our Sunday conversation, our guest, we had to postpone it, but we'll get it back up. It's getting to that point where it's hot, so folks is moving around, traveling, things is happening. But we here, community. Don't worry. Both sides of the conversation. We got you. A lot of things that we are going. We are still pushing forward through this minority health fund as we continue to uplift the health disparities, things that are impacting our community with health, mental health, everything. I know my brother Dre is here. He go drop some of the things that they're going to be doing to help our community. And it's very important that we take this month seriously, not only just for minorities' health, but just brothers, sisters. We got some issues going on in our community. We got spiritual warfare. I know the eclipse was flying by. I don't know, the buzz, the electricity, something's going on out there because folks are having less patience. Folks are more agitated and irritated than ever. And so many things are happening when we talk about our environments, the foods we're eating, things that are happening. I don't know. It's just things are happening. So we got a lot of work to do. Continue to promote this healthy lifestyle, healthy living for our families, for our children. But we will continue to do that. And then also today in the news, I know a lot of folks heard in Arizona, they uplift the abortion ban, meaning that any person who's been raped or incest, anything, they cannot have abortions. This is devastating to the progression movement of where we say we came from to where we at. It seems like more and more in this country, we're reversing and going back to how things was in the 1800s. Unfortunately, the fight will continue. I know a number of organizations and folks are trying to get it back on the balance for the voters to vote for. But again, another setback, another blow to the progression of pro-choice for folks and things of that nature. But we'll keep everybody abreast of what's going on as we continue to get information. And I don't know, maybe we just got to have some conversations about this, but I'm glad we got two brothers here. I don't know what's going on with the brothers in the community, Brother Mark. I just got to say, I don't know what's going on with the brothers out there. I'm running into more and more brothers who just emotionally unstable, not operating in their masculinity.
A lot of them were raised with
I don't know what's going on with my fellas. We gotta have a man's meet, okay? I'm around so many brothers that's just like, I'm like, what's going on? I mean, these brothers are acting like they operate in a feminine energy. I don't know. We got some work together. I know there's a lot of broken homes. We've had these relationship conversations. We know that males are missing out of the house, and I don't know what's going on out there, community. I'm gonna just tell you, I'm tired of grown men acting like ladies and just in a sentiment, feminine way. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say ladies. I think the ladies have a little. I don't know, fellas. Let's get it together. Y'all lucky my soundboard. I want to blow up the spot on all these guys out here that can't get it together. But listen, we got some phenomenal men that's here today, and we're gonna talk about this. This is a conversation that got to keep happening. Brothers, we got to do better. We got to lead by example. Let's be man. Let's stand up. Let's hold our heads up. Let's stand 10 toes down for something. Let's have some type of male integrity, male emotional stability. I can't take it. Okay, I can deal with other energies than what I'm getting out of a lot of these fellas. I'm sorry. Hey, but with that being said, Brother Mark, you are here today, brother. The voice. What's going on with you, brother? Talk to the people.
What's going on, community? As always, glad to be here. I love our hidden gems again. We get an opportunity to highlight and showcase some amazing people doing great things all over the country, in the community, with businesses and our community events. And I'm glad we've got a couple solid brothers here too, because what you're saying, John, rings so true. And yeah, it's unfortunately we're dealing with the byproduct of a lot of young men who were raised without strong father figures in their life, and hopefully we're going to see a couple of examples tonight, thankfully, of what manhood looks like and being productive. So glad to be here for another episode of Hidden Gems, and as always, glad to see you, and of course the queen of the platform, Miss Io.
Man, it is definitely great to have you guys both here. Thank you all for continuing to hold it down. There's a lot of things that we got going on. Y'all gonna be seeing me all over the place, but we know Mark and Io is always holding it down. And Sister Io, glad to see you back. I know every week is a challenging week, but this week for some reason a lot of things happening. Just happy to see you here, and we know you in it to win it, to change the narrative and uplift the community, and you're always giving those powerful words. And you are the coach now. I can't even call you the queen of the pie. I gotta call you coach. Coach, step in, coach. Talk to the people. Tell them what's going on, Io.
Coach Joy. I agree. The shift has been revealing. Let's say that, and a lot of women are in need of wanting to have a male or a partner, should I say, that has emotional intelligence. But the mental immaturity is what is really on the rise. They don't have that stability within themselves and have not done that inner work. So the projection of all of those traumas and triggers are what we're seeing right now. And it's definitely a shift. There's definitely a shift. And in this second quarter of this year, that's exactly what's going to be. You're just going to be seeing a lot of that, the aggression, the frustration. But when you do that inner work, it looks totally different when you're able to not be reactive and have an action plan, be reserved, and be able to respond in a cohesive way with everybody. So we're just praying for our community. And like you said, we do have two amazing hidden gems this evening, and hopefully they can shine some light and show and be a role model for what, upstanding, strong Black men are in our community,
I guess I need some coaching too, because I'm frustrated. Okay, I deal with these type of people, brothers, and I'm like, come on, brothers, we got to be better at this. It is a frustrating thing, but we don't want to overshadow the phenomenal men that are in the community, moving the community forward, bringing all realms of not only masculine energy but men together in the proper way. And I know when we get Dre up here, he gonna talk about a great time. It is some brothers doing something, but we got to take this tough love and this brotherhood and this respect and these things that we need to put into play. We got to definitely bring it to the community. So with that being said, Brother Mark, go on and talk about what's going on in the news. I just got some breaking news, tragic news. A teacher involved with some misconduct in American Canyon, and Drake can probably talk about a little bit of it too. I know he said it's crazy. I don't know what's going on with these teachers, okay? I don't understand why older people that's teaching are messing with these kids. I don't know. We got to figure out that, okay? All across this country, we have all these teachers sleeping with their high school students. It's sickness. I don't know. We got to do something, okay? We send our children to be educated, to be safe, protected, and we got a lot of vampires, and we got a lot of witches, and we got a lot of people that are doing some demonic things impacting our youth. We got to fix that. Go ahead, Brother Mark.
Well, unfortunately, it's not just teachers, because as we get into the news, our first headline is we're actually dealing with a San Francisco sheriff deputy who was arrested and charged for allegedly stalking and strangling his ex-girlfriend. Jonathan Espiritu, a 49-year-old San Francisco deputy sheriff, was arrested and charged with multiple felonies related to domestic violence and stalking. The victim, who had an on and off relationship with Espiritu, alleged that he strangled her, attacked her at her workplace, and placed a tracking device on her vehicle. Espiritu pleaded not guilty and is being held in Marin County Jail without bail, and the investigation is ongoing. So anyone with any information is urged to contact the SFPD. Also in the headlines, CHP seizes over 9.6 million lethal doses of fentanyl in San Francisco operation. Since launching a public safety partnership with San Francisco nearly a year ago, the California Highway Patrol has seized over 42 pounds of fentanyl in the Tenderloin neighborhood, equivalent to more than 9.6 million lethal doses. The operation also resulted in 6,044 citations, 496 arrests, and the recovery of 15 guns. Governor Gavin Newsom highlighted the collaboration's success in reducing drug presence and crime, noting a 32% decrease in property crime and a 14% decrease in violent crime in San Francisco's first quarter of 2024. The East Bay joint operation has also made significant progress with around 200 arrests and over 400 recovered stolen vehicles since February. And also in the headlines in national news, the parents of Michigan school shooter Ethan Crumbley are sentenced to 10 to 15 years in prison. In a historic decision, James and Jennifer Crumbley, parents of Ethan Crumbley, who killed 4 classmates at Oxford High School, Michigan, were each sentenced to 10 to 15 years in prison for unintentional homicide. This marks the first time parents of a school shooter have been held directly responsible for their child's attack. Ethan Crumbley is serving life in prison for the 2021 killings. The Crumbleys were convicted in separate trials and claimed ignorance of their son's troubles and plans. And our final headline, Biden's new student loan forgiveness plan could help 30 million borrowers. Here's who could qualify. President Biden's new student loan forgiveness plan targets around 30 million borrowers, utilizing the Higher Education Act to waive federal loans. It focuses on borrowers in repayment for 20 plus years, those with the low value program debts, individuals experiencing financial hardship, and those affected by negative amortization. The plan also aims to assist low and middle income borrowers eligible for existing forgiveness programs. Formal proposals and public comments will follow, with potential implementation by early fall, although legal challenges are expected. That would do it for the news. We'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Sister Ayo, so you can take care of the events.
Man, Mark, I just want to say on these news stories, I want to tell our community, because I'm talking to the Black and brown community. And I heard a lot of people when these parents was convicted, oh yeah, about time. Let me just tell y'all, this is the start of the system holding families accountable for their kids' action. So don't get so excited, community, say finally, because I'm going to tell you, some of these little Black and brown boys and girls at schools are doing a lot of things. And this is the start, okay, to start holding parents accountable. And then it's going to go down to drugs, robberies. It's going to start coming home. So just don't get too excited, because I see a lot of folks out there on social media about time. They need to start doing something to these parents. Don't forget, you're not exempt. Okay, and if your kid make a bad decision, you could be placed in. This is letting you know what the blueprint is coming, because there's a lot of folks out there that feel like the parents are responsible. And then lastly, Ayo, before you take over, these sideshows, they're getting out of control, y'all. I don't know. We got to come up with a plan. They can't keep just turning their head, and community leaders, we're going to have to come together and come up with a plan, because what's going on, tearing up our bridges, tearing up our streets, not only impacting the infrastructures, it impacts the taxpayers. And I know our young folks are excited about the horsepower and having fun. I get all of the car stuff, but we got to find a way that we can do this safe. We got to find a way we could do it and express it in a way that it's not impacting traffic, it's not impacting folks. I know these community folks, they're trying to make their names and their marks of being the trendsetters of sideshows. But when we do these things and we back up traffic and there's emergency folks being harmed, emergency personnel can't go through, we put in public safety at jeopardy, y'all. We got to have a conversation, but we got to come up with a plan, something for these sideshows that just getting out of control. And we got to find a way that these young folks could have this recreation in a way that's in a safe environment. It's not putting our public, elders, and families in jeopardy. So we'll talk about it. We'll have a conversation, but we got to do something about it. It's out of control. And it's going to take all of the community folks, elected officials, and leaders to come together to come up with a plan and make an investment so that our young people are not taking risks and putting our public safety and things at jeopardy. So more to come about that, but we'll have a conversation about that coming up. But Sister Ayo, get us through the events. Tell the community what's going on. Looking forward to seeing everybody this Sunday. Go ahead.
Join YCD Bridging the Gap and Bay Area Desperados for WAGA 19, the War Against Gun Activity 19-year anniversary on April 13th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Bayview Opera House. All ages welcome to live entertainment and food. Celebrate at the inaugural Father-Daughter Dance, April 14th, 3 p.m. at Ruth Williams Opera House, 4705 3rd Street in San Francisco. Special guests and free formal attire for the first 50 pairs. Register for Drip Fest at the African American Art and Cultural Complex on April 13th. Health and wellness, music, food, and fun. Free event, 12 to 5 p.m. Don't miss out. Registration is at Eventbrite. SF Batco presents Sign My Name to Freedom, a musical about Betty Reed, Soskin's life. The show runs from March 29th to April 13th at the Z Space in San Francisco. Tickets at sfbatco.org. The African American Art and Cultural Complex is hiring, seeking a facilities technician and finance accounting manager. Connect at Rafiki Coalition's Youth Empowerment Circles for ages 14 through 18, Wednesdays, March 27th through May 22nd, 6 to 7 p.m. Workshops, dinner, and support. Swing by Groove Into the Oldies with Miss Jackson every Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. on 411, 418, and 425. Thursdays, 1 to 2 p.m. at Rafiki in San Francisco. Explore Sankofa's days at the Bay during SF Climate Week in 2024, April 21st through the 27th. Dive into history, understand your future, free admission available. Apply for Bayview Legacy Foundation scholarships and stipends available. Apply from March 15th through April 29th. Details at the link below. Mark your calendar for the Hip Hop TV's first annual Fashion and Art Gala 2024, honoring Chantel Herden on April 27th from 6 to 9 p.m. All proceeds will benefit Chantel's children. Join us at the CCSF Ocean Campus for the Connect 2024 Open House and Resource Fair, April 27th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Explore, engage, and empower. Are you a high school student graduating? Apply for BSOTC's $2,500 Community Engagement Scholarship. The deadline is April 30th. Gain financial aid with Shoe She's USA Scholarship for high school grads and undergrads, selected on the basis of their financial need, academic achievement, and community involvement. Applications close on April 30th. Join the Neighborhood Emergency Response Team for full training, March 26th through May 1st, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at San Francisco Fire Department Division of Training. Tickets at Eventbrite. Become a voice of San Francisco's youth. Apply to be a youth commissioner, open to residents ages 12 to 23, passionate about youth needs and community change. Apply by May 10th. Be a part of shaping progress in future. California artists apply for 2024 state art grants. Opportunities open until June 6. Join the Black Bike Project. Empower youth with skills and rides, ages 11 through 14, April 11th through June 6th at 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. at the 601 Cesar Chavez in San Francisco. Join Rhodesia Jones for Life of Swerve, workshops on self-love and transformation. Saturdays, March 16th through June 14th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Ruth Williams Opera House. Opportunities for All offers careers exploration and workforce development to San Francisco youth and young adults, ages 13 to 24, living or studying in San Francisco. 2024 Summer Opportunities Programs and Camps for K through 8 kids. Over 160 options for learning, engagement, safety, and health. Ready for fall school. Dreamkeeper Initiatives Kids Summer Camp at Prince Hall Computer Learning Center for grades K through 8th. Free admission June 10th through August 2nd. DCYF Youth Opportunities ages 14 to 24. Explore the opportunities for Youth Portal for summer jobs, internships, and more in San Francisco for ages 14 through 17. Watch for paid summer jobs opening. SOA City is Mine Tech and Sports Camp, April 2nd through November 26th, various times and locations for ages 7 through 16. APRI is hiring a community innovative lab site manager. Please see the link below. Kids in the City presents Hair 101 workshops Saturdays, 1 to 3 p.m. at the Chase Center. Youth 7 through 17 learn about unique hair. Supplies will be provided. Join SECC at Hungry Cafe, 8 through 4 p.m. for co-working, eatery, and social space at Southeast Community Center. San Francisco OEWD and Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center offer business support services for small business entrepreneurs in Bayview and Fillmore. Minding Our Own Black Business initiative by BWOPA Tile honors Black women entrepreneurs. Nominate your favorite Black-owned business. The University of San Francisco New Community Counseling and Wellness Center provides 12 weeks of free therapy for San Francisco residents over 18 facing barriers to care. DKI's Senior Home Repair Program offers up to $50,000 forgivable loan to low to moderate income seniors and or disabled homeowners in distressed San Francisco neighborhoods. San Francisco Human Rights Commission holds a regular bi-monthly meeting on the second and fourth Thursday of each month at 5 p.m. in San Francisco City Hall Room 416. You can also attend via Zoom. Fathers to Founders Child Support Clinics every Tuesday and Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 232 6th Street in San Francisco. Get guidance on child support debt, license holds, custody, visitation rights. Please call the number below. DKI's Down Payment Assistance Loan Program offers up to $500,000 for down payment assistance and up to $30,000 for closing costs. Connect with a housing counselor, lender, and realtor. Walters Wellness Group hosts Sip and Paint Center every first, third, and fifth Friday. Unwind and set the tone for your weekend. Fueled by tea, creativity, and grounding. Hosted by Dr. Kathia Walters and her team. Join Fathers to Founders for Fatherhood Reimagined Therapy Group every Tuesday, 6 to 7:30 at, and the food will be provided. Please RSVP for this. APRI hosts youth workshops, job referrals, resume building, skills, internships, networking, and community service hours. Fillmore's Friday Night Market, every Friday, 4 to 9 p.m. on O'Farrell Street between Fillmore and Steiner. Live music, food vendors, dominoes, prizes, and fun. Vendor booths are available. Ongoing vaccination site offers COVID-19 boosters and monkeypox antiviral pills. See times and locations below. The Community Living Room offers free breakfast and grab-and-go lunch Monday through Friday at City of Hope Cafe. San Francisco Office of Financial Empowerment offers free confidential one-on-one smart money coaching, financial guidance in English and Spanish, available to anyone living or working in San Francisco. Be a mentor with San Francisco Unified School District, Mentoring for Success. Sign up to volunteer as an individual or group mentor district-wide. Would you like to promote your business, your nonprofit, or your community impact? Sign up for our Hidden Gems show, share your expertise on our Educational Thursday, or be a panelist on Sunday's conversation. Keep up with both sides of the conversations, latest shows, and community outreach events. Follow us on all social media platforms. You can also subscribe to our newsletter at bsotc.org. BSOTC welcomes volunteers to join our mission to uplift and support the community. Make a positive impact. Become a volunteer today. BSOT invites your support for our podcast and community engagement. Please explore our donation links. Your generous contributions will greatly aid us in enhancing our programming. We would like to take this time to thank and acknowledge the Dreamkeeper Initiative and its support for BSOTC's programming and San Francisco's diverse Black communities. To learn more, please see the link below. Join us this upcoming Educational Thursday, as well as for our Sunday conversation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sister Ira, for getting through the news community. Thank you all for being patient. I know it takes a lot, but we got to get the information to the community because we don't want folks out there lying saying, I didn't know this was going on. Nobody in the community never tell us how to connect to the resources. I don't know how to get connected. I don't know where the events were. Hey, tune in. Check out our social media handles. Every organization that submits, we're getting this information out to the community. We want to see you pull up, get to these events, check out what's going on, get connected, community. Oh, I just got a new book. Hey, the book came in the mail. The Inner Works of Relationships. Okay, we're gonna figure this out, Mark. The lady's been telling me, John Henry, you need to stop. I'm gonna read this book and I'm gonna come back and give some tips to the community. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all chapter by chapter a briefing. All right, with that being said, community, I know y'all been waiting. Okay, y'all been waiting. Y'all here to check out this first brother, Phenomenal King, doing so much work in the community. Stand up, brother. When you talk about men's working in the community, standing on business, doing stuff to uplift the brothers and support the community, this brother does it all. He's working with a phenomenal organization. There's a big change and transformation that's happening. He's in the front face of it and making things happen. So with that being said, no further ado, my brother, Andre Akins. What's going on, King? Welcome to both sides of the conversation.
Thank you, John Henry. I appreciate being here, brother. The last time I was on, I think you was out handling some other business. So Io and Mark held it down, though, man. When I left, I was sweating. It was so good. So I appreciate the opportunity to return.
And I'm happy to have you here. And it's always not only a blessing to be in space with you, but when we always around each other, the things that we always talk about. And I always appreciate this about you, Dre, because it's always about, community, family. You always talking about your kids, family, community, and as brothers, how we could do better. And like we talk about the things in the community that really impact us. And I'm just happy that you are one of God's soldiers on the ground with us, making things happen, doing the work. And really trying to make change. I know it's hard as Black men in this work, in these industries, in these nonprofit streets, as we always have to beat on our chest, go up against the gatekeepers and all of the people that be trying to stop brothers from being great. Okay, we ain't gonna get into all the other stuff, but you always stand in there and just want to say I appreciate you before you go any further into anything, because so many families, young men, you have impacted with mentorship at the high schools. And I don't want to let you leave again. I know you was here last time to say thank you, because there's so many families that's like, man, I'm glad, Dre. And we came from that garden of Omegas, Alive and Free, and a lot of things. We all kind of came up under it. And it's how we all brothers. And it's great to see all of us doing so much to continue to expand the things we learn, and then just taking what we do, adding it to what we learn, and having that fire to impact community more than ever. Male leadership is needed right now more than ever. Man mentorship is needed right now more than ever. We need men in the community to step up, lead by example, impact the community, be the leaders that we need to do. And we also have to, continue to protect our community. There's so much going on, and we want to make sure that we stick together, and I know you in the forefront of it, Dre, so just want to say thank you before we get started, because I just want to give you those flowers. And that's what this show is really about on Tuesdays, is not only to just highlight the organizations, the businesses, for folks to support and go out and do something, but it's also to give you your flowers, King. And I want to give those to you here publicly and say thank you for not only being a mentor to the young people, a mentor to me, and all kind of stuff, man. We go back like 4 flats, all right? So I'm just leaving it like that. But I'm glad you're here. I know you got a lot of programming to go. I want to say thank you for this weekend. I know a lot of folks see me on social media. This is one of the brothers that was out on the man's hike, and appreciate you being behind that, providing the healthy meal for the brothers afterwards. It is so important in this health month that not only women, but men, we focus on our health. We have to be vulnerable. We have to talk to each other. And that's why I'm looking for more of these man groups to come out. And I know the Baby Y is doing a phenomenal job with it, Corey and them, and just continue to bring the brothers together to be vulnerable, but also to push us forward about man's health and the importance of it. And I'm working through it, because y'all know I'm still doing my own work when it comes to that, about just being, vulnerable and being open about the things that we go through as men when it comes to dealing with these doctors, these racial health systems and things of that nature. But I know you providing services, you providing programming that's impacted communities. So I just want to turn it over to you, let you talk about stuff that y'all doing at Rafiki, what's going on, what you have coming up, and how in the next year, move forward, you guys are going to continue to impact and bless the community.
Well, first of all, thank you, John Henry, for that. I appreciate getting those flowers. It almost make me feel a little, I ain't used to it, but I don't look for it either. I really like being behind the scenes and making things happen, and uplifting other people. I think that's just my makeup. So I appreciate and don't take lightly when people notice. But for me, the most important thing for me is the end result, and I don't care who does it. I don't care who gets the my thing is, did we accomplish what we accomplished? And let's do whatever it needs to do to do that. And I feel that through everything that I have been through and grown to be that facilitator to make sure that people have the information, resources, and the support so that they can go out and do their thing, and that's what's important to me. So thank you for that, and I appreciate that. But I thank you, man, because this is your brainchild, and you said it. The one thing that is hurting our community is the lack of information. And there was this saying back in the day, if you want to hide something from Black people, put it between the cover of a book. They'll never pick it up and they'll never read it. And we tend to, for a lot of reasons, miss the information that we need. And so creating this platform to get that information out, from news to events to highlighting organizations and individuals, man, that's a phenomenal thing to bring out these hidden gems, because that's what they are. And it takes all these different parts to make this whole thing work. So thank you, thank Io, thank Mark, thank the sister who's behind the scenes in the production. Thank everybody for their piece on bringing this here for the opportunity. So I'll start off by saying I was blessed to get employed at Rafiki, and to be put in a position where I was allowed to grow and allowed to find a way to have an impact on things. So there are no accidents that happen, and we all wind up in the right place at the right time when we're supposed to. I work with a phenomenal staff that is dedicated to the services. And what I like about it is you have different people from different walks of life with the goal to bring health and wellness to our community, and to make sure that that the policies that exist, even if there's no way to impact or change them, that we're doing our part to counteract those policies that work negative against our community. So let me give flowers to Rafiki, to the staff, from everybody from the custodians to the board, the ED there, the directors there. Everybody plays an important part in how we do what we do. So the moving forward, there's a couple of things I want to highlight, and then take a couple of questions. And anytime you have a question, or anybody, is completely okay to ask at any time. And if I'm running my mouth too much, please stop me, because I can go. But I'll try to keep it short so we can get through everything and get the other brother on, who's also got some phenomenal things that he's doing. So the first thing I want to say is Rafiki is an organization that's centered around health and wellness. the physical, the nutritional, the mental health of our community. And when I say our community, hey, I'm unapologetically Black, African American, but I also acknowledge that any minority is at, I would say, have challenges here in the United States of America. That's just how it is. And what the country was founded on, you know, to get the system of capitalism, you got to have your haves and your have-nots. And you know, that creates a system that we're living in for a lot of different reasons, and it affects a lot of different people. So keeping that in mind, the organization started off purely to address the issues within the African American community around AIDS and Black men. It then got to a point where they rebranded and went into health disparities within the African American community, because it wasn't enough just to deal with HIV and AIDS, but there were so many other things that affects the community beyond that, which also were acting as barriers to keep those things, to keep numbers from decreasing, finding effects, whether it was about medications, whether it was about testing, whether it was about healthy practices, or just information. That we learned, or let me say, because I wasn't there at the time. So a lot of this predated me years and years and years, and several different people who worked there who did a phenomenal job to create the structure in which we work in now. So they worked very hard to say, hey, let's deal with this from a holistic point of view, because it was just like, you ever seen that cartoon when there's a dam that's breaking and people stick their finger in one hole and then another hole pop open, and then they got to stick their finger in there, and then somebody put their toe in the hole and all that kind of stuff. So there were so many issues around wellness and health and mental stability that there had to be a different way to approach it from a holistic point of view. And so Rafiki went from just being the Black Coalition Against AIDS to being Rafiki Health and Wellness. So that way we can capture everything that needs to be done. And so when we look at wellness, we look at movement, we look at nutrition, we look at mental health, we look at spiritual health, and we look at information in terms of how to care for ourselves. And that's the main thing. If I as an individual is not healthy, then I can't influence anybody else around me. I can't assist anybody else around me. And I might want to impact people in a healthy way, but it's going to be hard for me to do that if I'm impacted in an unhealthy way or in a negative way. And so what Rafiki has really tried to strive for was for people to acknowledge it's okay to care for yourself, and to get that care for yourself wherever that lands at on the spectrum. There's a lot of things that in the community is looked at as, whoa, I don't want to do that, or taboo. Well, we got to go into those areas and we got to address those things, because it's the silence that's also killing us. You know, it's the shame that's also killing us. You know, we got to have those hard conversations about our food intake and what we eat. We got to have those conversations about unhealthy relationships that we find ourselves in. We got to have those conversations about exploring different types of medicines. And we got to be selfish about making sure that we take care of ourselves and be all right with that. Because again, if you can't help yourself, you can't help nobody else. So we center around what we call complementary alternative medicine services, where people can come and get their needs met. Bottom line, whether it's through massage therapy, chiropractic therapy, you know, get rid of that pain, feel good, because your health is your wealth. There is our mental health services. There is acupuncture that we have, and people will pay hundreds of dollars for those services. There at Rafiki, it's free. And that's just the frontline services in terms of wellness that we have and that we that we have. The other things that we work on is we sit down at different tables to affect policy. But the other thing is to partner with other organizations who do work well, and either one, work with them and add to what they do, or have them help us do what we do. You know, we gotta take it to, again, the wraparound holistic point of view, because I might have the hammer, but you got the nails, you got the wood, we can build us a house, and it take us all to do it together. And so we have partnerships with a lot of different organizations to supply certain services for, and then to receive certain services that we can help with the community. And that's what it's all about, affecting the community. So with that as a foundation of information, let me talk now about the programming. So I'm gonna start off with our mental health clinic, which is, sorely needed in the Black community. And I think the conversations about it now in the last few years have really been garnering traction. But I think Rico Hampton, who is our operations manager, mentioned that we do not have an abundance of the faces that reflect our own faces in that position to give our mental services to our own community. It's very hard to find Black psychologists or therapists, and male therapists at that. And you did eloquently as speaking to how we need to have more of the males present, or let me say Black men present, that can operate within these circles to make an impact. And that's another conversation all to itself. But we provide mental health services for family, youth, and adults. And there's a lot of other organizations that do, and we all seeing the same thing. There's a lot of need, and capacity is always a problem. But we do what we can do. So people can call in, set up an appointment, or get on a waiting list. Sorry, but then they can get serviced at some point in time. The other programs that we have, I spoke to, which is our CAM service, where Monday through Thursday, people can come in and get their needs met. They can take care of themselves. If your back hurt, or if you have a poor range of motion, you can come and get somebody to look at that. And I've done the acupuncture, and this is coming from a guy who was like, ain't nobody sticking me with no needle, you know what I'm saying? But I had our acupuncturist stuck me in my foot to get to my neck. I couldn't believe it. Like, he found the chakra points and all that stuff, and I was kind of like, now how's that gonna work? But man, look, I felt so good. I was ready to do a backflip. And so there are things that we don't get involved in, or that through what we have learned, we stay away from because we're not familiar with it. But there are things that actually does work and will work for us. We just have to get out, get the information, so that we have both sides of that information, and then make an intelligent decision based on that information. Because I didn't know what, I just looked at it as a bunch of needles, but that stuff worked. So, and so there are things there to help one take care of themselves. We also have nutrition classes. We just completed one of our last cohort, and we'll be moving into another nutrition class. But it's a nutrition class where not only are we learning how to eat and what to eat and how to shop, but there's actual demonstrations going on, and then bread being broke. Then they will get the ingredients and the recipe so that they can recreate it at home. So everybody walk away with that meal that they just went through and learned how to fix and shop for. They take that home with them. That program will be coming back. Once it does, we will be advertising it and letting all the information be known. We have movement classes. So people like to dance, people like to do yoga, people like to dance to hip hop or some other kinds of dances. Whatever that is, we do have dance classes going on so that we can get that blood pumping, get that moving, get that heart rate up. We also have, we moved into, and I talked about this the last time, we moved into youth focused programming now at Rafiki. Most of the time, our programming have been beneficial to youth through the parents benefiting. If the parents are doing well, then the byproduct will be that the people around them and their children will do well. But now we have programming that is centered around young people, and we have a youth circle that we do on Wednesday nights. And that youth circle allows us to sit down with youth and not only have them at the center so they could talk about their issues, but there's an opportunity for healthy information to be exchanged and to find ways that we can support our young people. And so, we've had parents come in and they have expressed some challenges that they have had. And so I'm like, well, okay, we gotta make some adjustments because the parents need assistance as well, and they want the assistance. And so Wednesdays from 6 to we listed at 6 to 8. We have a meal together, and then we have our circle. And we want young people to walk out of that circle that night feeling hopeful, and have some information that they could think of and some choices that they can make beyond the ones that they have walked into that building with. Then we have our bike program, which will be on Thursdays from 3:30 to 5:30, where young people will come learn sweat equity, how to put a bike together, how to repair that bike, how to maintain that bike. And at the end of the 9 weeks, they get to take that bike home. And we're going to explore bike riding, and there will be mentorship and also life skills involved in that from a holistic, again, point of view. There will be meals with that also. There are several other programs coming online, but the one that I want to spend a little bit more time on too, and by the way, again, if I'm talking too much, interrupt me at any time.
I'm going to interrupt you, but I'm going to let you get to the last one. Go ahead, get to the last one.
So we have the Umoja Health Access Point, or HAP. And there are health access points for all the communities in San Francisco. And the bottom line, it is in place to decrease and bring down to zero the number of HIV infections within the African-American community in the city. And whatever population exists within there that have that's at risk, we want to address. So we had our first pop-up where it was our inaugural celebration. Hey, here we are. And we're going to have our second one on the 18th of April from 12 to 3. And it will be located at 131 Franklin Street, San Francisco, California. And it'll be at the Transgender Cultural Center. And we have several partners that we're working with. PRC, the San Francisco AIDS Foundation, 3rd Street Youth, and the Alliance Health Project. And the way that we want to impact the spread of HIV within our community is providing, again, that wraparound service methodology where it doesn't, if you got an issue around housing, if you got an issue around job, if you got an issue around whatever it may be, if we don't have it, we're going to link you and navigate you that way. Rafiki, our and everybody have a specialty. Our specialty rides within the mental health services. So if somebody comes to us, and we have other partners that are helping us with this too, because, you know, again, I might have the hammer and know how to swing it, but I don't know how to cut down that tree. So somebody else know how to do that. So therefore, that's that partner, and that will be their job. And we're going to work together so that we can impact that, that horrible virus that's running through and ravaging. And I want to mention this too, before I let you take over, folks. We are the smallest population in the city of San Francisco, but we're at the top of every list of health disparity and that exists, from everything from high blood pressure to cancers to diabetes. I saw some of the statistics where it comes to the HIV virus and the other sexually transmitted diseases. And I didn't mention that we also are working in harm reduction as well, whether it's about drugs, alcohol, or whatever the case may be. We want to try to make sure that we impact that. And we are sitting at the top of all of those, what I'm gonna call unhealthy indicators that would put a person at risk. So the initiative is one of sexual health, but it's all inclusive of all the health disparities that we have, that we want people to have access to some kind of service. So we also partner with Emoja Health, who will be doing test screenings there. Okay, I will be quiet.
That's it, Dre. Okay, that's it. This is my brother. Y'all see where I got it from. Now y'all know why I be going crazy talking all the time. Me and Dre, this is what we do. All right, keep the questions and answers to the bullet point, bro. No, let me stop. Go ahead. But listen, a couple of things, Dre. And I think I got a brain like an elephant. I was trying to write some of this stuff down. You was going so fast and it was good information. But one of the things that we got to change the narrative on, I heard you say this, and we say this in our community a lot. We have to change this perception of, if I'm not doing the work, but I have the message, I can't deliver the message. I got to stop us and make sure that we understand this, because a lot of this have destroyed our community. And what I'm saying is, I'm a fat man, right? And if I'm telling you, hey, work out 3 times a week, eat healthy, you like, John Henry, well, you a fat man. How you going to tell me you fat? We have to change that narrative to just taking the message from the messenger. And that's something that we got to really push into our community on all levels. Because I have people who like come home in reentry and they're like, oh, I don't want to talk to nobody because I just came home from doing time and I got to get myself. And I said, wait, this is the best time. As community, we got to figure out that don't worry about where you at, because you might have something that somebody else needs. You might have that energy, that conversation that somebody needs. So we have to change that in our community. It doesn't matter where you at. If you have positive information, if you have something to give it. And community, we have to learn. Corey always say this. The mailman will put the mail in the box. You still got to take the mail out the box and read the mail.
Exactly.
The purpose of it is you got to grab the message. Don't worry about who the messenger is, what they look like, where they at. Just get what you need. And that's one thing that we got to, change.
Man, this analogy comes to mind what you said. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. You know what I'm saying? So it does. So to your point, I remember when people used to come to me, because when I was in education, and I would, hear something going on in another classroom, and I would go over there and like, man, what the heck is going on over here? So the teacher would kind of let the kids kind of do what they do. So I'm like, wait a minute, y'all sit down, this and that. So I would have engaged in the conversation, and their whole thing was, well, I ain't had that experience, so I don't know if I can really relate to them, and I don't know what I have not had their upbringing or gone through what they're going through. So I don't know if I'm the right person to say. And I would have to literally say, like, man, then why are you even in education? That's an oxymoron. If anything, you can tell them how to stay out of trouble because you've never been in trouble. If they're not getting that information, then all they know is just that other half. And that's why one of the reasons why I like this, the title of the show, both of the stream, both sides of the conversation, because we got to have both sides in order to be able to make an honest to God, this healthy decision and weigh that out. So if you're not telling them that this is not correct, how are they going to know it's correct or not? So you're doing them a greater disservice regardless, and that ain't even their stuff. That's your stuff. So yeah, the messenger, sometimes it ain't about the messenger, it's about the message. And the one thing that I have discovered is that deflection is something else, and it keeps me safe, right? If I can point out all of this, then I don't have to look in the mirror and really have to face that. And when it comes down to it, for the most part, that's where it is, because at the end of the day, when I get up to brush my teeth, who am I looking at? That person in the mirror. And that's who I got to be accountable to first, myself and I.
Man, that's very big, you know, and it's important. I had to say that because I felt it. And I know sometimes, you know, in community, people say that, and it's like, we got to stop that because that's one of the biggest problems. But the next biggest problem, Rico put it up there, you know, when we talk about mental health, we got to look at innovative ways. And this has been a harping conversation for me. And me and Rico, we've had conversations about this. You know, we look at the amount of Black and brown folks who go to college to enter in their degrees for sociology, psychology, and this, you know, mental health space. So many of our young people, so many folks are going to college to get into sociology, psychotherapy, all of this stuff. But when it comes to our community, we lack in numbers when it comes to Black professionals. And I understand. I've talked to folks and they're like, yeah, John, you know, a lot of folks just take those classes because it's easy to get through and get your degree and all of that. But when we look at this crisis of mental health and health in our community, those folks are very important to the well-being of our community. How do we encourage these young people to get involved and do it? I know it's pay, and I know it's, access. And you know, I call out the governor. And I call out all the way up to the president of the United States. And I keep telling folks, the only way we solve the mental health crisis in America is we're going to have to invest in mental health like we invested in COVID. Okay, the governors across the country, they dropped the educational standards for nurses to get in there because we had a crisis. If we keep talking about mental health, and it's a crisis, but we're not making the policy change to help address mental health, we're never going to move that needle. So I think when we talk about culturally appropriate people, when I talk to these young people who are in college going into these fields and they say, well, we got to do all these hours. We got to almost go to a PhD to get the right pay for this. We got to go through all of this stuff. I'm saying, how do we get our political leaders to say, hey, we got a crisis in this country? All right, we got to talk to our educators, the higher levels of education. We got to sit down with the deans and we got to sit down and figure out how do we remove some of this curriculum? How do we bring an apprentice type model while these folks are learning? Because we need, everybody keeps saying it. I'm just telling you, I'm in these meetings, DPH, Department of Public Health. I'm in all these meetings and all I keep hearing is about culturally appropriate people. And I'm saying, well, if the Black and brown people who look like us are still in school, they got to do all these hours to get a PhD just to get out there, right? And I get it. People say, well, you know, if people ain't ready and they don't have the skills. But what I'm saying is at a grassroots lower level, when I got people in my community who are dealing with gunshots, victims, mental health issue, bipolar, depression, the basic things that's impacting our community, we can't get somebody who learns. Sometimes that person that looks like them will be able to pull some of those things out. They can utilize the tools and the things that they learned to really impact our community with mental health, but there's no policy behind it. Dre, how do we get there? You in this realm, how do we figure out a way collectively, organizations, health leaders? We have to make this message loud like COVID. There's a crisis. We know it. But how do we make it loud? How do we polarize the community? That mental health is where we need to focus and get the funding and the policies behind it to reflect the need.
So you bringing up something that that I know that I feel passionate about. And I'm going to start with this. So we're cutting through the red tape. If our policymakers aren't making policies to affect us in a healthy way, then we got to get them out. That's the thing, you know, when it comes down to it. Okay, politics is politics. And at some point, we got to stop looking at it as though there is that we're going to be able to either intellectually or that we're going to be able to morally get somebody to move their position when it's not to their benefit to do so. Their benefit is to keep it the way that it is. The only way to that, and well, no, let me not say, in my opinion, one way to go about it is that we hold that we let them know as a collective body, if you don't do this, you will not have this job come next term. if you don't do this, we're going to be at your building every single day, raising the alarm flag. If you have to shame people, then so be it. If you have to tell people you're going to lose that $100,000 a year job, then so be it. Whatever it's going to take to move them, then we have to do it in an organized way. The one thing that I've realized about the system is that the system, as difficult as it is, it will give you a way to maneuver. We have to learn how to maneuver in that system. If we go to a meeting, which we often do, and we scream and shout and scream and shout, they just sit there until it's time for them to say, okay, we're done. And then they don't have to do anything else. We can't go in there with that same mindset of screaming and shouting. We have to go in there with our plan and with our message to say, if this policy don't change, if you do not get more of those students into a practicum situation where they can start putting boots on the ground, then we will put somebody in there who will do it for you. And that's how the other communities do it. The other communities will tell them straight up, if this look like this, believe me, you're gonna be out of a job. And what do? They fight like Hades to make it work. Now, is that the only way? No, but that is one way that we could go about it. Now, from the standpoint with the community, and what we have to do is all get on the same page and say, look, we need to make sure that we have a plan that we can present and that we can stand on from a holistic point of view.
Man, I'm gonna say this because I'm gonna let Io and Mark jump in there, but Dre, that is the problem. You know, we got an election season coming up here. You know, this past March, Black folks, brown folks, we had the lowest turnouts when it comes to voting in this city. It's very sad, you know. And I say it's sad because folks have given up, because when they have participated in the process, the results haven't been that great. And this is why I tell our elected officials, when they get the opportunity to make change and impact, they have to do it, because you are the difference to keep these young people energized for the next election season. This is why I'm so disappointed in what's going on with the Democratic Party. See, this is what I'm talking about. When we need to build the gap, bridge the gap between the elders and the young people. We having this conflict and this divisiveness because we're not building the gap with our young people. And I keep telling the elders in the community, even in our political realm, we have to pass the torch sooner to young people. We have to get the new young ideals to get them involved, because right now these parties are stale. There's no movement. People are not engaged. It's like whatever. We are losing our young people, but our community, we got to do a better job of educating our young people about civic duty, getting involved and being a part of the process. But we got to see new faces. We have to get new energy, because I'm tired of looking at the same old faces. 30, 40, 50 years. This is not acceptable. We are a country of innovation. We are a state of innovation here in California. There's no way we cannot produce some of the phenomenal leaders, and we cannot look in the mirror at ourselves and say we okay, because we are standing still, because we are not willing to let go of the power and pass the torch to our young people. We got a lot of work behind that in this mental health realm. Okay, we know it's a struggle for Black folks when it comes to healthcare, the healthcare system as a whole, dealing with doctors, dealing with therapists. So much trauma and harm has been brought to our community. Folks are afraid to cross the tracks to get the services. I saw Rico posted, when do we get the mobile health services to come into our community? Because I'm going to tell you, Dre, the biggest problem when we talk about mental health and wellness in our community, everybody want to say, come to my office. You talk to, hey, I got somebody that's got shot. They afraid. They dealing with PTSD. Oh, well, you got to sit them down here. Tell them to come down here. Now, in order to get to some of these places, they might have to cross through 3 or 4 gang territory. I'm like, come on. When do we become innovative and say, hey, you know what? You ain't got to come down here. We're going to pull up to you. Hey, we're coming to the project. We're coming to the SF Hope side. We're pulling up on y'all block. and we're going to have a bus full of therapists, a bus full of psychologists, a bus full of Coach Joys to come talk to our community right now. We have to have that. We have to bring the services to the people. This motto of come to my office, come downtown. You know, I just can't. I can't do it no more. We got to find a way. We got to make the investment to bring mobile services to the community here in the Bay Area. We're going to have to do a better job of investing in telehealth, finding our Black professionals that's in the South. Dre, you went to an HBCU. You understand how many Black folks it is in the South. It is sad when you look here in the middle of the country, all the way to the West Coast, and we don't reflect the professionals that are needed in this field that look like us and be like this. So I'm saying we need to partner with folks in the South, folks in Texas, folks in Atlanta, folks in Louisiana. I don't know. Let's get some services here so our folks can talk. We are in a detriment time when it comes to this health, and that's why we're doing our part to uplift this health in this month. When we talk about suicide, the number of suicide that is increasing, not only with our young people, adults in this community, in this country, it is alarming. Nobody should hit the button to snooze this alarm. It is a big deal. But with that being said, Dre, I got to
just say this also to your point. With the information, we got to do a better job of training our young people to have the mindset that this is what I need to go into. Because right now, when you look at the mindset of what success by the young people feel, I got to get the bag. And the way I can do that is by being an IG model, being an athlete, being a rapper, going out there doing this, doing that. We have to change that narrative and tell the young people, hey, I ain't gonna be here forever. If we need doctors, we need the mental health practitioners, we need all these people for the infrastructure to look like us. But that ain't the message that's being permeated throughout our communities. So our young people have been taught to chase the bag, and not taught from a standpoint of we are a reflection of our community, and I got to be in a position to assist my community if I wanted to get better. And you know as well as I do, and kind of what you spoke to, they're going to get there and they out because that's what they've been taught, or that's the message that they've received. Versus now we got to come back, because one of the things that made, and you brought up the South, one of the things that made it strong was they said, you're going to go to school so you can come back and do something. So people went out to go be a dentist. They came back and they performed dentistry in the community. People went out to go be a teacher. They came back and they taught in the community. So it's those jobs that service the community that we have to have our young people start thinking about and engaging in and seeing the value in that versus seeing the value in playing a game 24/7 or being a YouTuber and all this other stuff. I ain't saying anything is necessarily wrong with that if somebody chooses that. But what I'm saying is we have to do a better job of preparing our kids that one day they got to take over. And if they're not ready to take over, somebody else will. And it's not going to be reflective of the community or us.
Hey, Dre, I heard you say, I think I heard you got to roll your sleeves up and get dirty. All of my sororities, all of my fraternities, all of the folks out here doing the work. Don't just climb the educational ladder. Don't just climb the corporate ladder and forget about the people in the hood, okay? All y'all, we need volunteers. We need our support service. I'm going to tell you, that's the problem. See, everybody want to walk around and talk about their doctorate degree. They want to talk about their houses and their cars and how much money they make. When we talk about how you giving back to help the Black folk, oh, I'm too busy. I'm just saying, all my sororities, all my fraternities, where y'all at? Y'all supposed to be giving back to the community. Brother Mark and Io, go ahead. I know y'all got some questions. We got to get our next guest up here, but go ahead, Mark and Io, get these questions in to Dre.
Go ahead, Sister Io.
I just want to say I love it when you come, Dre. You are just a ball of information. I ain't even get to take my notes because you keep me engaged. But I think I wanna scale back to what you said about self, right? The importance of self-care. Because how can you show up in our community? How can you show up in these spaces if you yourself are not doing your inner work? mental, emotional, spiritual, all of these things you want to try to work on for yourself first. Like they tell you on the airplane, you got to put your mask on first before you try to save somebody else. You cannot even be the messenger. Forget about being a model of what you expect. You can't even give the message if you don't know how to articulate or to communicate it, right? So being able to do that self-work is very important. And I appreciate Rafiki for having these spaces and these different events for both parent and kid to come together. So we're able to see, hey, I'm doing it too. I'm not just working on or trying to make you do something. I'm working on it too. We do have to lead by example, but also we have to show that I'm not perfect. We need to work too. When it comes to physical health, also, like John said, how can I be out of shape trying to tell somebody else? I had a trainer who was not physically fit, but the motivation, his message, his drive, the way that he pushed me helped me to get into my best physical shape. Irregardless to what his lifestyle was, the motivation, his message was not falling upon deaf ears because it motivated me to put the work in. That's the same thing when it comes to being able to be transparent and send this message to our children. Hey, okay, this is what it is. This is what you should be doing. This is some resources. These are some people that's out here that are giving you these advantages. Like everything that you just said this evening, Dre, is showing how you can collectively be building community. And it's not about a neighborhood. I saw Rico put it in there. Can we get more of these Rafiki Coalition Health and Wellness Centers in different parts of San Francisco? Definitely. Let's mobilize what Rafiki is doing and getting into each and every neighborhood because we're building community within our society, in our culture. It's not about a neighborhood where you build community. It's about building community amongst everybody. And what you guys are doing is bringing everybody in and making sure we're under one accord. So I give you your flowers. Always hats off to you. When it comes to the self-work, what are you guys doing, and what other different resources do you have for especially the parents? John, you always say that we gotta get to these parents because they see no error in their ways. I've been here 45 years. You can't tell me nothing. Yeah. And in your 45 years, what have you accomplished in your self-work? What have you accomplished that makes you feel good about yourself? And what legacy are you leaving for your child? So what is it that you guys are offering for the parents specifically?
That's a almost a loaded question because I didn't what's happening. We saw the need for that during our last circle. So I started to think about how can we address it? How can we, because the kids have to have a space. I mean, the young people have to have their space. The parents obviously need a space. We have to find a way to allow the parents to have their space and the kids to have their space, or some of the work that needs to be done won't be done because just the nature of the breath being taken up. So and I never want to send somebody who needs assistance out. Like, okay, we can't do nothing about that. This is for your kids. So the thought was, how can we address the issue? So I've had some conversations with our clinic, and we're going to provide a circle for the parents. So we're going to come in, break bread together, then separate. The parents go and have their circle and see what the things that they're dealing with and how to deal with that, and get some resources and some support and some information. And we're going to work with the kids downstairs. Then we're going to come back together and close out. So to answer that question, that's how we're going to try to address the need. It's something that we're just starting and just like trying to figure out on the fly because we just saw the need. So hopefully Well, I think it's going to work out pretty good because this is something that people need and want. So I don't think it's going to do anything but grow from that. But again, I like to try to err on the side of caution only because I want to manage expectations and I want to be honest about we got to create the processes sometimes as we're going through things. So I didn't necessarily want to advertise it until I knew like, okay, yeah, this is going to work. But sometimes you can't help but to go ahead and jump in and deal with it as it comes. Like one of the sayings that we had was, we got to build the train while we riding the train, you know, and in this situation, that's exactly what we have to do. And let me say that I've been doing this work for a long time, and I explained that I used to be in education from a teacher all the way through to administration. And I remember I had this frame of thought, like, just give me the kids and you go on about what you do, because I can't control nothing that you do. And a lot of times that influence is impacting this kid. And what I can do is help that kid out with some insulation and some things that they can make it through. But I was not right. I was wrong, because no matter what happens at that school, there's still 12 to 18 hours they're going to be at home. So this has to be work that's done on both sides. Some people are better at working with adults. Some people are better at working with kids. I kind of found my personal niche where I think I got my talents at. But this is a work where it has to be and not or. And so and I will preference this with this. If we don't try to do something, then there would be nothing there for anybody to lay back on to at least have an opportunity to process. And so sometimes that aha moment comes out of nowhere. Like, it's just like with being a parent, and we know as parents, you put stuff in, and what you hope is at that critical moment, they'll make that right decision because it's something you put in that you might not have seen in a little while. And the same thing and that's the perception that I use when doing this work, and how now that I understand how when we work with adults that it has to be, we plant that seed and we water and we water and we water and we water and we water. And at some point that root will take place. And what we have to do is change the narrative that's going around and what's going on, and the expectations of what's going on and what's going around. And John Henry, I love the fact that you are real strong on calling it out. And a lot of times we got to call BS. And we got to say, hey, you know what? This ain't working. So let's try something else. I don't know what to try, but let's try something else. And then we got to hold people accountable. And again, whether we grew up with them, whether we fantastic friends, knew them all my life, day one, if you ain't right for the job, you ain't right for the job. And that's just how it's got to come down to it. And one thing about us in the community, we rock with each other tightly, and sometimes to our detriment. But we got to look at what the big picture is, you know, and be able to say, you're a good dude, but you're terrible at this job, and separate the two. It ain't nothing personal. I mean, we could go out and kick it on Saturday, but on Monday through Friday, you can't be doing this. You just can't, because you ain't even affecting what I need you to affect. So let's get somebody else in here who will. Now, of course, people are not going to understand that, but it's necessary, you know.
I wish I had my soundboard working and shots fired. You know, Io taking shots at me, talking about my 24 pack. Io, leave my fat pack alone. What they call it, dad bod. Leave my dad bod. Hey, we gotta give Mark his question and get you out of here, Dre. We gonna bring you back when that other program kick off, but I'm gonna let Mark get this. I got another brother waiting.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't have a question, just another comment. King Dre, thank you again, brother, for your presence, your work. Everything that Rafiki Coalition is doing, what you're spearheading, is absolutely needed. The one thing I do probably want to highlight the most from the conversation, because I'm well aware of John's frustration with policy and politics. And we just have to come to the realization the system is set up the way it is for a reason. And I don't want us to be delusional and expecting the policy change to be the difference, when at the end of the day, it's going to come through people like you, Dre, and other people that are participating in Rafiki Coalition and who come on both sides of the conversation, brother. So I just want to encourage you, don't give up the good fight, keep up the work, and we're going to continue to be here to support you any way that we can, brother.
Thank you very much. And I'll be glad to be here. Hopefully I'll have a few more people that's with me. I'm looking forward to that. And again, I just want to give a shout out that it ain't me by myself, and it ain't me. We got a whole list of other individuals, from the executive director, the board, the operations manager, the office manager, the folks that work in the CAM. I hesitate to say names because I don't want to leave somebody out, but the departments all work together. And if it wasn't for them, I couldn't do what I do. And so I would be remiss to say, hey, man, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. I'm just a small part of what goes on. You know, there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of people that puts me in a position to do the things that I do. So I appreciate that. And my job is to put them and other people in a position to do what they do. So, but I appreciate the flowers and everything. And I just want to make sure that, again, in the spirit of us being in a collective effort, because it's taken us all to get to where we are, from the partners that are outside the organizations to the individuals in those spaces that fight for us when it comes to funding or policies or things. We have some strong advocates out there as well in those circles. So thank you very much. I appreciate being here again. John Henry, if you ever need me for anything, you know you got me. In the same thing with Io and Mark. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Hey, thank you again. Only thing we need to tell you, executive director, I need some help. Tell her open up the bag. No, I'm just messing with you. A great job, Dre, for the work that you're doing. Rafiki Coalition. I know there's a lot of change happening. You guys are transforming the organization, new leadership, new ideals, new folks. And like you said, it's a cohesive group of folk that are trying to change what we perceive and look at when it comes to mental health in our community. We look at health holistically across. Rafiki is doing that. Dre's a part of the program, making it happen. Again, we got to talk about the men's hike on the next one. To all of the 510 hikers, all the brothers who came up there. We'll keep helping post that information out. We want to get more.
And they're going to do a women's hike too. They're going to do a women's unity hike too. So Io, you said you were in shape. They got something for you.
I don't even want to say that I might blow up the spot, but I'm working on my 24-pack. My dad bought, okay? I'm just saying. Hey, Dre, we got to get you out of here, get all the guests up here. Thank you again, King. Keep doing the work that you're doing. Anything that we can help support, events coming up, make sure y'all send it over so we can get it out to the community. Make sure folks show up. We will continue to support you. I know you all are getting ready. We got a lot of holidays coming up that you all are out bringing different treatment and services to the community. So I want to say thank you again. Continue to be the light. Continue to do the things that you're doing. I feel you when you said about the train, because I feel like we're building a plane and flying at the same time. It's hard to do, but it takes dedication, consistency, and love. And you all are doing the 4-pack of love over at Rafiki Coalition. So we appreciate you and we support you. And we're looking forward to seeing you all again. And hopefully we get some of your other programming folks to come on and talk about the programs that they're running so that we can continue to inform our community. It's always great to see those faces so people can say, hey, you know what? I'm going to come check it out. Believe it or not, people see faces and hear people passion and they want to get involved. So thank you again, Dre. Looking forward to seeing you in the community. I'm looking to stop by one of these Wednesdays and pull up on you and come support the program. I know this Wednesday I got to get to the City Hall for this commission meeting for Log Cabin Ranch, some of the things that they're trying to do there. But I will pull up and check out what's going on at the circle and be a part of it. Thank you again, King. I'll see you soon, brother.
Okay. Thank you both. Thank all of y'all, kings and queens.
All right, Dre, have a blessed one. All right, there you have it. Okay, community. Y'all just heard from Rafiki. Y'all heard from Dre. I don't know. I got some work to do. I'll shitting shots over here talking about my 24 pack. Leave me alone, I'm reading my book. Okay, I'm gonna start reading my book. I told y'all this is part of that healing, the inner works of the relationships. I gotta get some inner work going on. I don't know. I'll 24 shots for you. All this fat you want to talk.
I was using it.
You see how my co-host do me? You just want to talk about my fatness. All right, I got you, go. All right. With that being said, we're gonna bring up our last hidden gem, phenomenal brother. We bring it up here, and he's gonna talk to you about some of the things that he's doing. Great stuff, phenomenal king. Glad to have him here. With that being so, without further ado, brother Mo McCoy, welcome to both sides of the conversation. King, what's going on with you, brother?
What's good? I've been enjoying every bit of what y'all talking about. And I wish y'all could do that in South Central too.
Nah, no problem. It's coming. We're trying to bring this awareness. When we talk about mental health, men's mental health as a whole, we want to bring this to all communities. And I think it is an important conversation to have, but it starts with vulnerability of us brothers to be open, to get other young brothers open, to have these conversations. So, we excited. I know you down the way from us, but we represent Cali hard and doing our thing. But with that being said, Brother Mo, talk to the people about you, what you're doing, what's going on, how we can support you in the community, brother.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mo McCoy. I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, but I live here in Southern California now. And I moved out here to do the same work that I was doing everywhere I went. So, which is film, entertainment, and just putting positive Black men together to do what we're doing. You know what I mean? And through film, I like to spread laughter, comedy. I think laughter is one part of mental health healing, and or healing period, because laughter is medicine. That's what I always told back in my day. They say, "Oh, you need to laugh because laughter is medicine," and that's what my grandparents would say to me, and so that's what stuck with me. And so every movie I make, I install the comedy in there. And I'm loving the work that I do at High Life Marketing Entertainment West. We're working with artists. We're doing marketing, filming. It's just a lot going on. As soon as my feet touch the ground in California, I've been working every day, every single day. And doors have just been opening. And I just want to shout out to Big Chill, Big Red, Freeway Rick. These are the guys that I'm around all the time, and they're all about positivity. And when I was in Michigan and I was traveling all over, I didn't see that a lot. I didn't see a lot of brothers working together and OGs working with younger fellas. You know what I'm saying? These guys are older than me, but they're helping guide me. I mean, even down to where not to park. You know what I'm saying? A big homie could tell you, like, if he's from this area, I wouldn't park there, you'll get towed. You know what I'm saying? Just one little jewel. And if you listen, you might, you know what I'm saying, avoid a whole lot of problems that you would definitely get because you ain't listening to the big homie. So I'm just having a good time here. The only thing I've been experiencing, though, is some racism with my son because he is going into new schools and new programs. He's in boxing, and everywhere he goes, he's getting he's getting called out of his name, and people are just ganging up on him, and just because he looks different. And so I've been thinking about trying to find solutions to what he should do, because my age, we taught, hit me and I'm gonna hit you back. My kids and down, they don't have that philosophy. They got say something else. That's their philosophy. and then they finna put hands on. So I got to teach my son to protect himself by not putting his hands on everybody. One, then I got to teach him like, yeah, it ain't right what's going on, and how do I equip him when he goes to school? How do I equip him when he goes into these situations? And what's the best way? So that's a lot of stuff I've been dealing with, besides the entertainment and movies that we got going on. Plus, I just graduated from Full Sail University with my bachelor's degree, and I'm just out here applying for big 6-figure jobs and stuff like that, like Netflix, Hulu, Tubi, getting into, I want to be the Netflix plug and start green lighting some of these projects that filmmakers got going on. So I'm boots on the ground, very aggressive. I work every day. I didn't come here not knowing what I'm doing. I came here with years of experience and a degree now, and a bachelor's degree, ready to just, be the one that can make change here.
Man, that's very phenomenal. It's powerful, brother. To hear you doing this, when we talk about the entertainment business, we look at what's going on in social media around the globe with P. Diddy and all the entertainment stuff. Craziness is happening, right? And you that shining light to do something different with entertainment. I'm just bringing it up, not making a coalition between you or him. I'm just saying there's so many negative things when we look at rap music, when we look at the movie industry, the violence that impact our community. And I'm grateful that you are doing this, because we need more of that, right? And I think your perspective and your narrative will help shift that. But in shifting that and doing that, I heard you say you will be the next Netflix. You will be the next great big thing, but how do you now being in this position, and congratulations on graduating. I always tell people it's great to have those degrees and go through the process, but the reality, the authenticity is you, what you represent, how you connect, and how you correct, right? And as being an entertainment business, it is your job, your duty when you get to that point of where you feel your success, or you at that level. I just hope that you continue to push that positivity, because we get so many movies negatively impacting Black folks. You have an opportunity to highlight some of the things and bring to the surface the things that you've experienced. You talk about your son, we talk about bullying, we talk about mental health, right? How do you create them films to highlight these issues that impact our community to really make change? And that's what we need. I had a bunch of young brothers who came on here, rappers. I'm like, hey, don't forget, you got the mic, you got the opportunity now. Okay, because once you get into Hollywood, when you get into the entertainment business, they're going to pull you a certain way. Now you got to figure out what side of the fence you're going to step on. And that's why I have so much respect for rappers like D1 and other folks that stand up and try to push positivity. And how do we get that in the movie film business? How do we stop portraying brothers killing each other and start talking about, we try to find a solution to be better men. We try to find a better solution to be working on not being afraid of what we don't know and advancing to do more. You are that leader now. God have gave you, you can't, God has given it to you. Now you have to step on business, do what you need, because there's somebody under you following. And I always tell people, we as Black folks, entrepreneurs, folks that's in these industries, we got to be open. We got to make sure we're not the future gatekeepers. We got to share information and connect, because a lot of folks, you didn't go through the struggles I had to do to get there. Like we got to get out of that mentality, right? We got to make sure we support, work in solidarity, continue to uplift each other. But you getting the torch now. It's your opportunity, fresh, grassroots. We want to support you, uplift you, make sure everything is going. But you have the torch now, brother. You got to make sure that you continue to open up those pathways and make sure that those young folks coming behind you get an opportunity to be the next great Spike Lee, or the next great whatever that they can look up. Now is you, Mo McCoy. I'm looking up to be like Mo, right? You gonna be that breaking transition for the community in film. And just proud that you here and doing it, brother. We need more of it. And like I said, you just got to utilize your platform now, what you doing to impact our community.
Absolutely. And that's what I've been doing pretty much my whole career is I just saw something going on when I was acting. I was acting and I would audition and then sometimes I wouldn't get in the movie, you know what I mean? Or I wouldn't get the call back. And I figured out a way to just streamline it where you know, anybody who came to my event, I put them in the movie. You didn't even have to have the acting talent yet. You know what I mean? So most of my movies, if you watch them on my website, I got all new people. You know what I mean? This is their first opportunity to shine on Tubi. You know what I mean? And just opening that door, you know, I felt it better to even work with people who it was their first time met better than a seasoned actor, because the actor will be like, well, how much I'm getting paid, when am I this and that, and I need my motivation, and you know what I mean?
Brother Mo, thank you again. And I wanted to ask you, because I actually had the opportunity, you and we met personally. You were here in Houston, Texas last year with Brother Fluky and the Do Right Man, working on some promotional material for some artists. And I was fascinated because watching you and some of the other crew work around, you were creating content like in the audience and all throughout the venue. So
Yeah.
can you kind of talk about your mindset and how your approach to storytelling, how you see things? Because again, as a creative, as a filmmaker, you see things different than other people. So when you're trying to tell a story, how do you use your perspective in your storytelling?
Mark, I'm glad you asked that, because I got a process. Basically, a story has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So that's what I'm thinking. The first thing, I got to have a beginning and an end. Everything in the middle is the content. And then within the middle, you need to have some kind of conflict. So basically, if I'm telling a story, it's just basic storytelling. So now I'm thinking that when I go into a venue, well, I need to show the front of the venue. That's an establishing shot. There's your beginning. You know what I mean? Then when I get inside, B-roll of the whole place. You know what I mean? Look at that. Look at that over there. Oh, that looks nice. Somebody like looking at that. I like looking at it. You know what I mean? So I'll film it. You know, there's people in the audience. Wow, I never seen nobody doing that. I'm gonna film that. You know, plus I'm gonna get the actual artist performing, and then I would probably just pull some of the artists to the side and interview them, and you know, close it out like that. You know what I mean? So basically, a story would start with, you know, the beginning, the middle, and then the end. So that's
Brother
how
Mo, I need somewhere in there that you make the mind thing. Because when I'm talking about the narrative shift and storytelling with my thing, I start off with the beginning and then I'm in the middle. How do I trigger somebody's mind to make them think? And then I come with a benediction at the end.
That's where the conflict comes in. The conflict. You have to figure out some way for them to have a conflict, and then they have to resolve that conflict. And that's where you're telling your story and getting your gem in there, because now that you showed them how to resolve the problem, you know what I mean?
It seems as though you see life as a movie. And I appreciate you saying, you know, the importance of laughter, this being, you know, us gearing everything towards health this month. I believe laughter is definitely a healing agent. It's definitely a healing agent.
Absolutely.
You can utilize that. Like, everybody laughs at me because I got the same movies in rotation, but depicting on what my mood is, that certain movie can lift your spirits. You know, certain movies put you in a certain mental aspect. Certain times the month for us women, I like action movies. I need straight adrenaline rush. When I'm feeling like I'm in the dumps, or I'm feeling like, you know, I haven't had such a good day and it's just life and I like to watch my romantic comedies. So movies in general, those things, especially the ones that you can relate to, they help you in your mental status and your emotional status, all those things. So thank you for that. You said that when it came to your son, right? trying to do something different. And that for me, what just stuck out to me, and that was you trying to break a cycle. I
Yeah,
commend you on that. That's big because
absolutely.
how we were raised in our generations and how we're raising our children, because of the exposure to social media, to the exposure to peer influence, they have a whole different trajectory on what life is and what the reality of it is when they get to our age. You cannot, what one thing I just learned recently, and I heard it and it made so much sense. You can't judge a man where he is until you get there. So me being upset at my parents on how they do something at the age that they were, I can't say anything until I experience that same age. So once I hit 40, I'm like, dang, my mom and dad were right when it comes to the way that I'm raising my son, right? And
Yeah.
so I cannot try to influence and put those same ideologies in the way that I was raised on him because it's a whole different generational gap.
Exactly.
So I commend you on wanting to break that cycle and being a better role model for him and showing him a different light and aspect when it comes to putting him in a different type of schooling, putting him into different type of atmospheres and environments and neighborhoods and things like that. Culturally, I'm sure that it's a conflict with his mental and emotional stability when it comes to those things that he's experiencing. But for you as his father, it's so important for us to be able to pour those things into our kids. So I commend you on that as well.
Thank you. Thank you. And another thing too, Ao, when you talked about movies, how they change your mood and stuff like that, that's part of my mental health. What I do is I take a day or a time away and go watch a movie. I'll go by myself or I'll take my son and we'll go watch a movie just to break things up. It takes you away for a minute. And you come back with new ideals and new emotions and things like that. So that's what I love about what I do. And I love that other people do it because it helps me too.
Well, you know, oh, you will say something, Mark? Go ahead.
Well, I did just have one more question because one of the things I hear a lot is, does art imitate life or does life imitate art? And as somebody who's in the position to create visual sound and impression upon people that have, I mean, again, we know how important movies and TV are, how they affect us and impact us. So as a creative, like what's your thought process on one, some of the newer technologies like AI and how it's being used and implemented? And do you feel like you are able to shape reality, or are you using your art as a way to express reality?
I'm looking at mine as a way to express reality. And when it comes to AI, I love it. It's a tool. I don't look at it like it's God. No, it's a tool, and you can use it to enhance what you're doing. And I love it. So I use it all the time. I even used it in school when it came out in the middle of school. I was like, what is this? So when I got to writing out all these long messages and stuff, I just typed in the AI and it was like, I was like, I said, thank you, God, because you just saved me hours of work, you know. And then I even argued with my teacher because he said, well, you're using AI. It's like, well, AI is getting my ideal and enhancing it, putting it in the language that you understand. And so it's really using my ideal, but it's putting it in a format that you understand. And so to me, school should be about teaching somebody how to overcome a problem. And one problem I was having is it was taking hours to write out all these discussions. And I solved it by AI. So even when I was a kid, they would say, well, don't use a calculator because you never know if a calculator is going to be available And now we got a calculator everywhere we go on our phone. We don't even have to touch it now. We can say, "Hey Siri, what's 7 plus this?" Or you know what I mean? And it happens. So to me, it's don't abuse the technology, but use it.
Man, Mo, I just want to say thank you for being here tonight because you inspired me, because usually when it comes to movies, I go to sleep. Every time I go to the movies, I go to sleep. No matter if it's in the middle of the day, early in the morning. I'm getting old, okay? See, laughter. I got to laugh, but it's the truth. I don't get to watch movies too much because I'm always asleep. But you inspired me tonight. I gotta watch a movie. But when I do watch movies, I'm like, depending on what I'm going through in life, I become emotional. Something about movies make me cry. Little stupid stuff, right? It can be that little scene, and you think about your childhood, and you think about something happened, then you just start crying. I'm like, what the heck am I doing crying watching this?
Man, I laugh at myself about that all the time. I'm so soft when it comes to watching movies. And I know it's a movie. I know exactly how they made the movie, and I still cry about it. So it's just the magic of movie making. If you can have the sound and the visual together, that just it works together in a sad scene, it should make you cry. Right. It should.
Right. Well, I'm glad you're making these films and writing them and producing them. I mean, again, we're looking for things in our community to move us, and through filmmaking, so many emotions are pulled out of movies, and we just want to make sure that we continue to put things out there that moves our community. Right now, more than ever, we need solidarity in our community. We need these things to move us, these movies to inspire us to get out and be great. There's so many phenomenal folks in our community that have the passion, the drive. And sometimes it is a movie that inspired them. I talk to people all the time. How did you do what you do? Or how did you get, I saw this movie and I was like, it's something I wanted to do. So just understand you have amazing influence. You have a powerful thing with movies because you're dealing with the subconscious mind. And that's why I say it's so important to make sure that the information that you putting out is beneficial to our community, uplifting to our community, because we know so many times they use movies and they use music to pour this demonic spirit into the subconscious minds of our people. And we don't even understand how we getting programmed through social media, through reality TV, through the things that we see. And this stuff is destroying our community. And on this mental health month, on this month of health community, we have to do a better job of filtering out, taking some time away from some of these things that are attacking our subconscious mind so that we can be great. We have a brother here, Brother Mo, is making sure that the next generation of movies will inspire, uplift, and move the community forward, brother. I'm proud of you for doing all of that. And, I'm looking forward to tapping in. Maybe you could put in a private chat some of the movies so we can find them. Whatever it takes, like you said, step by step to build greatness. I don't care if it's on Tubi. I don't care if it's on Prime. Get it out there so that people could, check it out and see what's going and support and uplift you. Anything that we could do here at both sides of the conversation to support your filmmaking efforts, we will do to support some folks. Laughter is needed. Movies are needed. Brother Mo, you are needed. You have a place here. And we want to make sure that folks reach out and follow you and continue to watch the work and the things that you are doing to impact community, your family, and your son should be very proud to have a dad like you that's teaching them discipline, teaching them objective thinking, emotional control and stability. That's what we need our brothers in the community to do. And I'm just happy that you are here doing the things that you do because it's so much needed. And we want to make sure that we uplift you so folks in the community know how to connect you. The information is on the screen, how to connect them. More money, more money. That's what I'm talking about. More money.
Yep. MoMcCoy.com. Just tap in MoMcCoy.com. I built that when I was in school. They say you got to build a portfolio and put your actors reel and your demo reel on there and your work on there. So I got all kinds of work there. Not only do I make film, I teach it. I also am an actor too. So I've been on Jerry Springer. I've been on Divorce Court, and I've been on Judge Matthews. So
hey, I'm an actor too. You didn't know I was an actor. I can play the roll too. Okay, I get it done.
Perfect.
I ain't been on Jerry Springer. I ain't been on Maury, and I ain't been on Judge Judy yet. But
He is definitely a character for sure.
Yeah. You get.
I haven't been on. Don't forget.
We're gonna have to do a movie up there in San Francisco.
Only thing y'all won't see, I won't be on OnlyFans. That's what I do.
Yeah, don't be an OnlyFans.
That is not the next career move, Bishop. No.
Yeah, unless you're just showing feet. People like feet.
No, we ain't even gonna start there. We ain't even gonna do that. Nope.
I had to make everybody laugh. See, I'm a comedian tonight. Y'all can laugh at the- Go check out our both sides of the conversation OnlyFans. All right, I gotta stop. I'm getting in trouble. I am an actor.
You told me.
Hey, brother Mo, you just got my inbox going tonight. I'll never live this one down. Cotton candy.
And Lord,
hey, community. Well, you know, it's been great, Mo, having you here. I know you've been waiting patiently. I know you got to get back to the things that you got doing. You know, I want to give you an opportunity to give any shots out to any folks that help support you along the way. I know you're coming a long way from the Midwest here to California, down in LA doing your work. And any parting words that you want to get out to community. And again, anything you have coming up, hope to see you at the Sun Fest one day and all these amazing local film festivities and get your stuff out there, brother. But yeah, go ahead, give a shout out to anybody you want to give kudos to. And if you have any parting words before we let you get out of here tonight, King.
Yeah, let me give a shout out to OG Big Chill, Freeway Rick. Shout out my boy DJ Mechanical, my boy Pay James what he wants, and you know, my boy Trayvon, like my crew. Basically, we could go all day. It ain't just me no more. It used to be me at the beginning, and then I started building a team all over the country. So shout out to the whole team: High Life Marketing, ENT, Fireproof TV, Deep Pockets Entertainment, and Little Man Everywhere. So just want to and I want to shout out my assistant because she's got the hardest job in the world.
I know about that, brother.
Lady D, Diane Meadows, she holds me down because I just can't possibly take as many calls as I used to and just chop it up with people. So they have to talk to her. I have to screen them, and then we get to the business.
Man, I know that I gotta have people screening my calls and stuff too because it's just too much. But I know you got a close relationship with Big Red. Don't be hanging nobody off the balcony talking about your office hours is only from 9 to 5.
Yeah, Big Red. He is the coolest big guy I ever met. You know what I mean? He's just like a big brother to me, man. And he's always making us laugh and doing something. He's got the strongest voice I ever heard. You're gonna see him in different movies, but we will use him like our the new Debo.
Big Red, my office hours are 9 to 5. Do you understand, brother? Hey, brother McCoy, don't get in trouble with the community. Hey, thank you again for being here, brother. We're gonna continue to follow you and support you any way that we can. Again, congratulations on graduating, get your bachelor's, and you know whatever else greatness God has for you. You have a shining light. You are no longer hidden. Our community, the community that you might not know, see, they will be checking out, looking at you, and seeing what's going on to support the work that you're doing. We appreciate you. It's always great to see kings make an impact, changing the narrative, doing something positive. When these folks say, "Where's the black man that's doing things?" Hey, here you go. We had a couple phenomenal ones tonight. And again, brother, we appreciate you. We'll let you get out of here, and I'll have my team reach out so that we can pick up one of your films to help financially support you. All of our hidden gems, we make sure we support them in any kind of way that we can to uplift the Black and brown businesses on this Hidden Gem segment. So thank you, King. Anytime you want to come back and talk about any new movie releases or things that you're doing, please sign up, come back and talk to the community so we can follow you and keep up with the work that you're doing.
For sure. I'll be back. For sure.
All right. Thank you, brother. You have a blessed evening. All right, King. All right. Thank you. All right, community, there you have it. This was a great Hidden Gem segment. I don't know. I'm going to crash the internet before it's over. I don't know. Even with my 24 double D 6-pack with 2 bubbles in my fat self, I'm going to make something happen tonight. Hey, I don't know. Just don't tune in to my only both sides of the conversation. OnlyFans. I can't get this. I just can't believe I said that. Both sides of the conversation. We got OnlyFans. What did I do tonight? See, you guys can't keep me on the air for too long. This is what happened. Danger, danger. Cotton candy, myself. All right. Brother Mark, go ahead and talk to the people before we get out of here tonight, King.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm trying to get this OnlyFans picture out of my mind for the BSOTC OnlyFans. Oh, Lord. Community. This is why I love Hidden Gems. 2 phenomenal, amazing brothers, 2 kings that are doing great things in the community. If anything else, I hope that we can take the meat and separate the bones so we can take what's beneficial, what's useful for us, and throw away what does not work. Again, as always, nobody's coming to save us. So we're going to continue to highlight and showcase the people that are doing things that will benefit us and how we can connect, partner with us, but we still got to get on code. The system is not set up for us to thrive. We have to create our own system within the system and make sure that we take care of us first, because they are not intending to do it. So thankful for everybody who's part of the process in the programs, working with the policies. But we know the reality. It's going to be up to people like Bishop, people like Io, people like myself, and the other hidden gems that we have. I love you, community, and I hope you got some encouragement and some information that you can use. And do not look for that OnlyFans link nowhere for both sides of the conversation.
I'm starting off the video, Mark, rubbing the fat. Okay, I'm walking my 24-pack. I don't know. Sister I know you gonna wrap it up. Y'all never seen a fat bitch before. Hey. See, y'all don't understand. I'm bringing healing to my co-host. I'm bringing healing to the community. I see Tavita out there laughing. Somebody's getting some healing tonight. See, we had a healing and wellness show.
Well, Tavita just said, don't you let me see cotton candy on next year's merch.
I'm losing control of the show. Okay, Io, get it. See, Io started this. See, y'all be thinking it's me. Io started. Where's my soundboard at? Shots fired.
Oh, sorry. Okay. My apologies, community. He is definitely a character. Somebody hurry up and get him a deal. Okay, he need an agent ASAP. 2 phenomenal, great, inspirational hidden gems this evening. Hats off to Dre, per usual. He comes and gives us the fuel. You know what I mean? He ignites that fire and he continues to fuel us with everything. He is a walking ball of information and actually out there, boots running, doing the work. And I really, really have the utmost respect for him and the whole entire Rafiki Coalition. Thank you again, Rico, for those comments that you put up, because the statistics are so saddening, but the work that you guys are doing is so important. So I pray that you guys will continue to have that fuel to drive. And we will see more wellness, Rafiki wellness organizations in many, many more neighborhoods in San Francisco and nationwide. I'm speaking it into existence. We will be global with this movement and making sure that we can bring hidden gems like Dre and Mo together and doing something. You know what I mean? Who can say what type of phenomenal work that these two gentlemen can do together? Thank you, Mo, for coming on this evening and giving us the gift of laughter, because laughter is a healing agent in this month of wellness overall, whether it's mental health, physical health, emotional stability, and intelligence. We need it. Our communities are crying out. And laughter, what better medicine than that? You know, it heals your soul, it lifts your spirits, it gives you a little leg up on those days where you feel like you can't move on. So thank you, community, for tuning in tonight. Thank you to our hidden gems for coming in and shining a little light on everybody. And now you are no longer hidden. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, Sister Al, for putting that together so welly. With that being said, community, you know what time it is. Maybe you don't. Maybe it's your first time tuning in. Every show before we end, we want to make sure that our community understands we love and care about you. We want to make sure that you guys get out there, check out our survey that we have out. Again, we are trying to do everything we can to listen to our community so that we can continue to develop this platform to make sure that we get resources, communication out to community. Please join our survey. Let us know what we could do to improve, be better. Maybe it's less of me. I don't know. Whatever you have, go ahead and put it on there. We want to make sure that we are listening to our community. We want to make sure that we are changing this platform so that we can also continue to uplift and change the narrative and how we impact community. So please check out our survey. We're going to be giving away some money. I'm going to be picking somebody soon. I'm trying to see who all putting their surveys in there. Maybe if you say something really good, you know, I might have something really, really extra. But until then, please do the survey. Check us out. If you haven't followed us, check us out on all of our social media handles at Both Sides of the Conversation. Sign up for our newsletter. Tap in with us. Check our website. There's so many things that we're trying to do and be a part of. The Bayview Collaborative is coming. We're trying to bring our community together to be intentional, to mobilize, organize, and make impact. Please check your emails as information will be coming out. We're getting ready for some things, and we're positively excited to uplift what's going to be happening in the community. So with that being said, okay, I don't know where I'm going with this benediction, but I'll get to it. All right, community, tonight you've been blessed on this Hidden Gem segment. Every Tuesday we come here to bring you the folks you don't always see, uplift the business and folks that are doing things that positively impact our community. Tonight we have Rafiki Coalition, Brother Andre, my brother. He came back tonight to talk about the work that they're doing to impact community. We talk about mental health. We talk about wellness, the things that we need in our community to make change. We have to make it a priority. It has to be the first thing that we put on the table, the first thing that we put when we wake up. We have to figure out self-identity, self-care, find the things that we need to be great. We know the disparities and how they impact our community. Tonight, there was resources, information given for you, community, to get involved. We know the elders need to pass the torch. We know the young people need inspiration. When we talk about changing the narrative, it starts right here, grassroots, in our community. Then we need our leaders, our politicians to come together, to look at the policy, look at what's going on. How can we combat what's going on with resources, information, and folks in the community for our young people who are in college, the very inspiring young people who want to give back, be therapists. We need to encourage them, empower them, and give them an opportunity to come bless our community. It is a shame when folks of color, Black folks, brown folks, cannot find a culturally appropriate therapist that look like them. We must do our part and everything we can to make sure the necessary folks are in our community. It takes all of us holistically. We have to get involved. We have to get involved. This political season, it's up to all of us to get out, do our civic duty if we want to see change in our community. You are the change maker. Get out and do something. Lastly, we had the great brother Mo. He was here uplifting an upcoming filmmaker. He's looking to change the narrative. What we see, what we hear, how we get information. There's stories being told all over the place. Mo is coming in to take advantage of what's going on in the industry and bring something different, something unique, innovative to our community through movies, through healing. It all starts with just watching, observing. I don't know. There's a message between every line. There's a start, there's a middle, and there's an ending. Tonight, we got all of it. And we're going to do our part to make sure that we support and uplift the dreams of this brother so that we can continue to put out messaging that positively impact our community. We know the subconscious mind in these times are dealing with a lot. So much information coming in, not always the great. In order to change that mindset, that right there needs to change with what we see and how we perceive and review information. I'm excited. I'll be calling Mo. He's going to be making an OnlyFans video for the bishop. We'll be getting it together. We'll make our own movie. Okay, I'm just messing with y'all. Hey, listen, it's been great. Two phenomenal folks came here tonight. Two powerful men. Okay, the brother just graduated, getting his college degree. I don't know, community. Y'all keep saying, where's the brothers at? Some powerful brothers that's doing work, loving on the community. We will continue to do our part to love on you in the community. Our next live show is this Thursday. We're going to have another educational presentation. This Sunday, we'll have a Sunday conversation. And Io and Mark will be hosting it, as I'll be out in the community for our father and daughter dance. I mean, this is a very, very important event today. I got a personal invitation. At first, I wasn't going to be able to make it, but I got a personal. I got called out. Bishop, I need you here. I need you to see the fathers dancing with their daughters. Some of these fathers were in prison when their kids went through high school. They didn't get to make it to the prom. Today, we bring back that joy. I'll be out there suited and booted. I don't know my daughter's girl. I can't bring her. Maybe I'll bring my grandbaby. I will dance with somebody. We got to do it. We got to bring this love back to our community. There's a lot of events coming up. Please stay in contact with us as we are steady getting information out as it's coming. I know economic challenges are happening to our community. Folks are looking for work. Please stay with us. I'm having all of the HR folks who have openings send us jobs so that we can get our folks back to work. But again, in the meantime, follow us on our social media handles at Both Sides of the Conversation. We on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I don't know where you get your information. You can find us on LinkedIn. Check us out. Work happening, things going on. We got some very, very important stuff that's going to be coming up to impact the people. I'm excited to be here with you again. I am the bishop. I love you all. We will see you this Thursday night. Good night, good people. Have a blessed one.